Hello everyone, welcome to CryptoPi. In today's video, I want to speculate where will Bitcoin hit bottom for this cycle in this bear market. If you like the analysis, then do hit the subscribe button. Alright, so what do we have here? It's Bitcoin in its USDT pair, and the green dashed line is the 200-week moving average. You might have heard already quite a few analysts saying that 200-week moving average will hold, and we will see reversal from 200 once the price hits 200-week moving average. And their analysis is based on two of the cycles, which is over here, where 200-week moving average acted as support, and then Bitcoin stayed there, consolidated for some time, and after a while, the bull run had begun. However, in Corona crash, price went below, price went under 200-week moving average. In the year of 2022, price went under 200-week moving average and stayed there for quite a good number of months before the new bull run began. Now, at the moment, price is approximately 11 to 12% away from 200-week moving average. What we have discussed is if we switch on our accumulation line and distribution lines, Bitcoin's price tends to go down in the midterm year until it crosses the accumulation line. And once it has crossed the accumulation line, it throws in another 20, 15, whatever percent drawdown, after which we see price is accumulating for a few weeks, which then is followed by the next bull run. At the moment, if we start consolidating here for months, which is a possibility, it could happen. But looking at various technical indicators, it is quite unlikely that Bitcoin will stay in a consolidation range for such a long period, that is almost 217 days. So that is until we have price crossing the accumulation line, which is, as per this calculation on weekly time frame, it is the week of 21st September. So what is the speculative bottom here? Now, why do I say speculative? Because it is purely some ratios, some historical ratios. If I look at the cycle from the first real crash, which was from almost $31 to low of $2, let's assume this was the first crash, which it looks like this was the first crash. If we take from this low and measure it, how much above the next low was, which was here. Because here the low is 162, and at this point the low of the price on this date is 166. So here, this low, after this low was hit, Bitcoin's next cycle low was 8,000% above. If we repeat the same thing from this particular low to this one, it's 1,828%. Now the next one will be from this low up until this one, which is 395%. Now the question is, where is the next low? This is what the speculative bottom will be. Like where should this stop, right? That is what we have to identify. So what I did was, you just take the ratio. You say, all right, we have first is 8024. You divide it by 1828. We get 4.38. Let's round it up. Let's consider 4.4. Then the next one is 1828 divided by 395. We get 4.6. Now, average, if you take 4.4, 4.6, you take a very simple average, you get 4.5. What we want is 395, divide it by 4.5, and we get 87%. Now, so what does this tell us from this low over here, the next bottom will be 87% higher, which comes down to 28,000. So yeah, it's 28,968. Let's round it up to 29,000. Now let's keep this range. If we just look over here, and if we consider what is usually explained in the order block theory, we would see that there is a bullish order block over here, because we saw a bullish rally after this order block was formed, and the rally also created a breakout structure over here. We have a fair value gap over here. So if we just look at the price action analysis and having this kind of speculative ratio calculations, to me it looks that this is quite reasonable bottom for Bitcoin this year. Now, there are various models which will tell us that this is way too low, because from 200-week moving average, let's say Bitcoin crosses the 200-week moving average somewhere here in the next few weeks, 2-3 weeks, it's another 54% drop. I don't think it will be another 54% drop, but what could happen is Bitcoin might come in this range where there's a fair value gap and breakout structure. So we also have some sense of price action over here. Somewhere in this range would be my speculation of Bitcoin's bottom. In last video, we discussed when would this happen, because we said stop thinking about where the Bitcoin will bottom, at which price will Bitcoin bottom, because we cannot know. In the last cycle, we did not know that it will stop here. There was no way of knowing it. In this cycle, everyone says it will bottom here because it is very close to previous year's all-time high, and that is what has happened. But you can't say something like that, because here the all-time high was 1,200, Bitcoin bottomed at 3,000. Over here, the Bitcoin was high at 19,000 and it went below 19,000. So that model has failed. So this time, why cannot it go below this high, which is around 67 something thousand? So yeah, in the last video we said the price will bottom somewhere in this time period. Price has to cross the accumulation line, then we may see a drop and price will start consolidating for some time, and after that it starts the new bull run. So we have some approximation. We have the time approximation, which is between September and the start of the pre-election year. So it's basically last quarter of this year, and the price estimation comes in somewhere in this range. Well, from this ratio point of view, it is much below, but let's be a bit more lenient with this kind of calculations and look at price action the way it is. Let's say the price finds some form of bullish component coming back when the price reaches breakout structure at 31,000 or above, because here there is some price action missing and it is part of the fair value gap. So perhaps the price will consolidate somewhere here, and we might see the next run when the price comes in this particular block, plus minus couple of thousands in the price. If you like the analysis, then do hit the subscribe button, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.